Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Good Morning Robertson County. Today is December 17th, 2020. We are so close to Christmas. We have our last Good Morning Robertson County today, and we have a special guest with us, Dr. Jerry Faulkner with the Volunteer State Community College. Dr. Faulkner, we're going to give it just a few minutes for people to join on and start watching our live stream, both on Facebook and on YouTube. We are safe this morning, and you are in the comfort of your space there in Gallatin on campus, right?
I am, yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me on, Jordan.
Absolutely. We are excited to have you. We've got some people joining on. Guys, make sure you're hosting watch parties for us so we can spread the word about Good Morning Robertson County. It is not tradition to have Good Morning Robertson County in December, but this was a very special reason to do it with the celebration of All State's 50th anniversary. We also have with us Mayor Howard Bradley. During Mayor Bradley's tenure as our Robertson County mayor, he saw the completion of a very special institution right here in Robertson County, and we wanted him to be part of that conversation today. Dr. Faulkner, I'm going to let you take it away and tell us all about Ball State and the 50th anniversary.
Okay, well, thanks very much. We were just talking about before we went live, when is the actual 50th anniversary? And that was something we had a hard time deciding. In 1969, June of 1969, the Higher Education Commission authorized the establishment of a community college in North Middle Tennessee, specifically here in Gallatin. And they broke ground at the Gallatin location here in November of 1970. But the first students at the college were not until the fall quarter of 1971. And even then, they were not at the current Gallatin location. It wasn't finished. The construction wasn't finished. So the offices for the college were in the Cordell Hull Hotel on Main Street, Gallatin, and physical education was taught at the National Guard Armory, and the rest of the classes were at pretty much every church on Main Street, Gallatin. So we just decided we'd celebrate all 3 years. We'd celebrate our 50th anniversary for all 3 years. So we're excited about that. We have looked back at a lot of historical events. We have, over the course of the history of the college, awarded over 30,000 degrees and certificates to folks from the 11 counties here in North Middle Tennessee. And over 2,100 of those degrees and certificates went to citizens in Robertson County.
Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't know that number. Mayor Bradley, did you know that number, 2,100?
That's an astounding feat there. It's great.
That really is. Well, and as you talk about Gallatin being part of really helping Ball State establish roots, right? That is the true definition of community college, when you've got churches and armories hosting classes. So that's a good definition of community wrapping around higher education and supporting it.
You know, some of our sister institutions across the nation, and even here in Tennessee, there's been some discussion about dropping the word community from our title and just calling it Ball State College. And I'm resistant to that, and always will be, because of our central role in working with our community partners. And the things that have happened and are happening in Robertson County are a perfect example of how we work with communities to meet the educational needs of the citizens.
Absolutely. And Mayor Bradley, I want you to kind of talk some about Highland Crest, of course, but I can't even start the conversation without saying good morning to Anne Marie McKee. She's the campus director there at Highland Crest, and she is Mayor Vogel texted me yesterday and said, I can't wait to hear from Anne Marie McKee. She's a jewel. And I said, she is. And so anyway, I just want to say good morning to her and just let you know she is doing a fantastic job of being part of our community and really advocating on behalf of Ball State.
Well, that's something I hear from everybody in Robertson County, and we are fortunate to have Anne Marie as part of our Ball State community.
We really are. She helped us here at the chamber get an intern through the program, and man, it's been great that the student gets college credit. We get administrative help that we need, and we also get to help train someone how to take those skills and turn them into something that can go on a resume and really be marketable. So we look forward to working with that program for years to come.
Yes, we have now for, I guess, at least 2 years, maybe 3, we have been pushing work-based learning, trying within all of our career programs to include an opportunity for the student to actually get into the workplace and use the things that they're learning in the classroom. We've had an extraordinary relationship with Electrolux there in Robertson County, partly because Tim Dowell, who is their training person, is also an adjunct teacher for us in the mechatronics program. And so we've been fortunate to be able to place several interns at Electrolux. And I believe I'm correct in saying they have just recently hired 2 of our students at Electrolux. So we're very much interested in what we're calling work-based learning opportunities for our students.
Yeah, I'm a huge advocate of work-based learning, and Ball State has been so incredibly important part of that here with our local industry in Robertson County. And I think that that's a great segue into Highland Crest. That's one of the reasons Highland Crest became so important to the success of our community as well, to making sure we are hiring an ability for our students here to go to a local destination to complete their higher education opportunities, whether it's through work-based learning and taking classes there on campus. But it's been so important to the success of our community and our local industry and businesses. Mayor Bradley, tell us, how did that even come about, and what happened to get those first bricks laid?
Well, Jordan, I love to tell the story of the birth of Highland Crest College campus because it's a perfect example of how communities are supposed to work together to bring to fruition something that we've identified as important. And you had, my philosophy has always been that it doesn't really matter who does what as long as we have identified the need, and it doesn't matter who gets credit for it. And I think the reason that Volunteer State and Highland Crest became such a success in Springfield is because all the entities that were involved did come together without any concern about where the credit went and made this happen. But going back as far as 2004, local leaders in Robertson County and Springfield began to identify one of our major impediments in terms of economic development was a very small percentage of our adult population that had any kind of post-secondary degrees or certification. And we feel like that held us back in so many fronts. But for the next 3 or 4 years, we wrestled with the idea of do we want to try to retrofit a facility that we already have, a building that we might gain access to, or do we want to think on a much larger scale, which luckily we did, and have our own campus here, a new campus and a new facility. But it's as though the stars lined up for us for a particular reason. We talked about this, as I said, for a number of years with the folks primarily at Ball State, but also Austin P was involved. But then around 2008 and 9, things began to accelerate. And of course, one of the first issues that we had to deal with was a location in order to where we would build a college campus. And fortunately for us, when we were wrestling with that, how much of the money that the city and county would be donating to this would be spent on land acquisition and land development and those sort of things. And we were very fortunate to have a local philanthropist, Billy Batson, his wife Jean, who stepped up and donated the property at no cost to the county and city to build the college. And then one of the next hurdles that we had to have was how do we maintain the building? How do we supply utilities and so forth? And we were very fortunate that our friends at Northwest Medical Center, whose property butts the college campus property, stepped up and agreed to pay the first 2 years of operating cost. That was a contribution of up to $500,000, which was absolutely essential for this come together. And then just a hand-in-glove relationship with the officials at Ball State and Austin P. Dr. Warren Nichols was president in those days and worked very closely with Dr. Nichols in his office, as well as Dr. Jackson, who is now the president of Nashville State. And they were just marvelous to work with. And eventually, the county and city went together and appropriated a total of $6 million for the construction of the facility there. One hiccup along the way that we'll always remember was the fact that because of some opposition to the construction of the college, the city of Springfield had to go through a referendum. And when we first heard about that, that was kind of we considered a glitch, a step backward. As it turned out, I think that was a blessing, because when the voters of Springfield cast their ballots in that referendum, 75% of them voted in favor of spending local dollars to construct the college and its campus. So I think that kind of affirmation in that referendum showed how much support there was for the campus. And so if you step back exactly 10 years ago from now, we were entering into the latter phases of the construction of the college. We broke ground in late February of 2010, so we were near the construction site this time, and then we began to have the there beginning June of 2011. But having this campus here has been a game changer. I've had numerous people over the years who have said to me, I was able to go to college because and that makes all the work and toil and sweat and anxiety leading up to the construction and the money that was spent to make that happen very, very worthwhile. And because we were thinking about the fact back in those days, one number that may have been reason that our number was so low is that we were centrally located between Nashville and Clarksville and Gallatin, 30 miles basically from all of them, that had institutions of higher learning, but that was an impediment to a single parent, for instance, or an adult learner, or someone who was needing to take classes. Of course, we were in the very beginning stages of classes online, internet learning, but to have that facility here, and as Dr. Faulkner mentioned, the relationship with Electrical and other entities in the county, I think we are just beginning now to see the possibilities that Highland Crest brings to this community. So we have seen, since the college was built, significant increase of adult learners, significant increase in the number of people age 21 and above who are gaining a post-secondary degree. So I think it's been a game changer, and I think it's just a prelude to what the future is going to hold. So when you see all things lining up the way it did 10 years ago, cooperation between the county and city, the contribution made by Northwest Medical Center, the donation of the land, when you see those things coming together like that, then that's got to be a positive for the community, not just now, but that's a facility that our grandchildren will be going to school in and in bettering themselves, and most importantly, bettering this community. So it was a privilege to be part of that process.
Yeah, that's an incredible story. I love to hear it. It's also great. I think it should inspire local leaders to say, even when the job seems tough, you got to keep moving forward when you know it's for the betterment of our community as a whole for years and years to come. Because sometimes progress does take a lot of pain and toil, and it causes inconvenience, it causes strife sometimes, but in most cases, progress in the end is something that we all get to benefit from. So I know I'm thankful for leaders that stood before me and helped lay groundwork for things like Highland Crest College campus, the YMCA, North Crest Medical Center, so many things, the library, so many things that have happened just in my 10 years of being here at the chamber. I'm just so thankful for those investments, and thankful to Ball State for coming alongside. Us building a building would not have been relevant had we not had a great relationship with a higher education institution willing to come in and fill that gap and help serve our community as a whole. Dr. Faulkner, I know that Highland Crest is something you are proud of. Tell me about what's going on over there. Can you give us some data about what's happening at Highland Crest?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, there's all sorts of things happening that demonstrate that continued partnership. I think one of the things we're most proud of is collaboration with the Robertson County School System, Dr. Causey, and Austin P. and Ball State. We have collectively put together a program we call Grow Your Own, and it is intended to help address the teacher shortage in K-12 education by taking folks that perhaps are already in the education system as a non-teacher and giving them an opportunity to get the credential that they need to go into the classroom. And so we created a program again called Grow Your Own. And folks from that are currently part of the Robertson County school system, but as I said, are not currently in the classroom, but have aspirations to do that, to get into an accelerated program to get a K through 5 teaching credential. And so the first portion of the classes are taken from Ball State. They're at the Highland Crest campus. And then the upper division courses will be offered at the Highland Crest campus by Austin P. And these folks will, in a matter of about 3 years, be able to get through a 4-year program and be eligible to earn their teaching credential. And so
that is incredible. That's an incredible program, not only for our education system, but also for our residents who live here. I have several friends going through that program right now. They work in the school system so they could be with their children, be on the same schedule, and now they're getting the opportunity to teach in the classrooms. And I am so proud of each of them, and we couldn't have done it without partnerships like Ball State. So thank you so much for investing, and Dr. Causey and the school board, so thankful for that relationship.
Absolutely. We have 10 in this first cohort, which was kind of what our goal was, to have 10 students going through this program together. So the other thing,
huge impact in our community for sure.
Yeah. The other thing that's really significant at Highland Crest, at our Springfield location, is that when we established that location, it was what we in higher education call a site, a teaching site. We offered classes there, but there were not sufficient classes to complete any particular degree or certificate. And so we saw that as not a good situation. And so we worked through the process with the Higher Education Commission, with the Tennessee Board of Regents, and with our accrediting agency, Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, to make the Highland Crest campus into a degree granting center, which means that you can now get a full degree, in fact, several opportunities, by only attending at the Highland Crest campus. I mentioned the Associates of Teaching, the K through 5 teacher program. You don't have to be part of the cohort in order to pursue that degree. We also have the Associates of Science University Parallel, which is intended for folks that are planning to transfer on to a 4-year college and finish up a bachelor's degree. And we have tracks available in what we call just general studies, and in health science, business administration, marketing, management, finance, accounting. And then, of course, we have the pre-nursing transfer program as well. And then for applied science degrees, which are designed to lead directly to a career, we're offering an applied science degree in business and one in computer information technology. And then we also are offering a certificate in the emergency medical technician certificate there, and a certificate in logistics and supply chain management. So we're trying to make that location at Springfield a place where students can go and get their entire degree at that location.
Everything that you just named also has a direct correlating industry here in this community. So these students can graduate from Robertson County schools, go straight into a degree path at Highland Crest College campus, Duval State, and then go straight to fill that huge workforce need that we have here in Robertson County. You know, we hear all the time, and Mayor Radley, you can attest to this, we hear all the time, we need more jobs. Well, jobs are great, absolutely fantastic. However, we have jobs here in Robertson County. We just have to make sure that we have a qualified workforce to fill those jobs right now. That is a huge need that we have. And with partnerships like Ball State and really your team works with our school system in so many ways, specifically with our our CTE department, to make sure that we're offering programs that also fit their line of study for certificates as well, that feed right into your programs.
Absolutely. We're very thrilled with our opportunity to work with the Robertson County school systems. This fall, we have 571 students taking college classes while they're still in high school in Robertson County. And it looks like we may even increase that number for the spring semester. but they earn college credit while they're still in high school. They satisfy their high school requirements. And then, as you say, they can plug right into a program at Volunteer State to go on for a college level certificate or a applied science degree or a transfer degree that's going to lead them to a career that requires a bachelor's degree.
Yeah, that's incredible. I think that's something that when I went through Leadership Middle Tennessee 15 years ago, however long ago it was, 10 years ago, when we went into other communities, that was one thing that we were hearing, that these opportunities were available through their school system and their local colleges. At that time, Highland Crest was just starting to enroll students when I started here at the Chamber 10 years ago, just starting that process. And I remember thinking, that's going to be an opportunity we have in our community that we didn't have for decades, forever before. So it's been great to watch that success happen, not only for our colleges, but for our employers and our students as well. It's been a huge game changer for a lot of families in this community, and I know that they are incredibly grateful for that opportunity. So what else do you guys have going on at Ball State, and what are you celebrate? How can we help celebrate you as well?
Well, I very much appreciate County Executive Vogel, Mayor Billy Vogel, signing a proclamation on behalf of the county acknowledging our 50th anniversary. We're asking all of our home counties to do that for us, either through the county executive or mayor or through the county commission. So that's really kind of the kickoff. We're actually hoping now that a vaccine appears to be imminent, that by this coming fall we can do some of the things that we originally talked about, things like alumni gatherings, alumni events. There's still quite a large number of folks around that were part of the original faculty and staff of the college, and others that have retired from the college. And we're hoping this fall that the pandemic will have abated enough that we can actually have some reunions of those folks that were so much a part of establishing Ball State and guiding it through the 50 years that we are celebrating at this point.
Well, speaking of the pandemic, let's talk about the changes that Ball State made to ensure their faculty, their staff, their students had an opportunity to continue their degree and study, but also stay safe as well.
Well, of course, like most everybody else in America, March was something of a whirlwind. We were on spring break when news of the pandemic spreading across America came to Middle Tennessee. We decided to extend spring break by a week for our students in order to give our faculty time to pivot to online classes to remote learning. And so within a week's time, we went from about 30% of our coursework being offered remotely to 100% of our coursework being offered remotely. And so just so much appreciate the hard work and dedication of our faculty that made that possible. And so we finished up the fall semester, actually did quite well during the spring semester. We actually had fewer withdrawals this spring than we did spring of 2019. We decided going into the fall semester that a majority of our courses would be offered remotely, either asynchronously online or through remote means where they did actually have a particular day and time that they met together by way of Zoom with live instruction and with their classmates. And so about 93% of our instruction this past fall was handled through some sort of remote learning. Only about 7% required some sort of on-campus participation. And we put in a very rigorous program of requiring a pre-screening and then a check-in when folks came to campus, a very strict commitment to masking up and social distancing and cleaning and sanitizing. And so as of the end of the fall semester, as far as we know, we did not have a single student that contracted COVID-19 because of being involved at Ball State. So we're very thankful that we were able to keep our folks safe and healthy throughout the fall semester. So again, through this coming spring, we'll continue with that pattern of mostly remote learning. We're already talking about fall of 2021 because we'll start registering for fall of 2021 in April of
Yeah.
2021. And so, we're hoping and praying, like most everyone, that the vaccine is going to be readily and widely available and effective. And so we can go back to some sort of in-person learning for the fall semester at Ball State. And all of those sorts of things have been true at our Highland Crest campus as well.
Yeah, I think that we all are craving some face-to-face time with one another and personal interaction. But in the same breath, I think we've also all seen the way that we can adapt and change and make sure that the processes that we are using are efficient and safe. And I think that is something to be commended. My dad always kind of has these little gold nuggets. Sometimes he throws a sentence out and you're like, I didn't think about that. But Robertson County Schools just decided to go virtual through the end of this week and then hybrid after the first of the year. Yeah. And I was talking to him about it. I have 2 kids that are in the Innovation Academy program at Springfield Middle School, and they desperately want to be with their friends, but I desperately want them to be safe. And even more than that, I want their teachers to make sure that they are always remaining safe as well. So I said, Dad, I just don't know how this is going to work. And he said, if education is to help train students to be successful in their future, then adapting is the first lesson they should learn. And I was like, that is so true. Them having to adapt and change course and continue on being successful, that is very, very true. And that is something that we're all having to learn right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just to throw out a couple of numbers, we have had a Zoom account for several years now that we use rarely. Probably the most use of it was when we were interviewing a potential employee that lived out of town. Mm-hmm. And so for all of fall semester 2019, we used about 100,000 minutes of Zoom time.
Wow.
Okay. In spring, between March, when we closed the campus, and the end of the spring semester, we used over 3 million minutes of Zoom time.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
Yeah.
I think maybe I have used about 3 million minutes of Zoom time myself. I feel like I'm on Zoom a lot, but I've been thankful for the technology that has allowed me to continue to work and serve our members and serve our community. And I know Ball State feels the same way with being able to serve their student population.
Yeah, our faculty, again, I can't brag on them enough for making that quick change and going to remote learning. And even our music department, for example, how do you get an ensemble together to practice? Well, they actually found a tool to do that. We normally have a Christmas concert, a holiday concert, late November, early December. Well, they actually put together a holiday concert. It's available on YouTube.
That's fantastic. That's great.
So those kinds of technology lessons, I think, are going to be vital and are going to be retained even when we go back to some sort of in-person learning. Those techniques and technologies are still going to be retained and make us a better institution.
I think so as well. I know Mayor Bradley, I have been in his house a few times. I tend to go there for lunch in the afternoons. Howard is married to my first cousin, Stephanie, who is my best friend, and she makes fantastic food. We were talking about that yesterday. She's an excellent cook, and I go there and eat some. But he is oftentimes on a Zoom meeting of some board meeting online trying to work his way through the day as well. Even in your retirement, Mayor Bradley, you are.
I have one at 10:30 today, so. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, Dr. Faulkner, do you want to leave us with any final words before we end our program today?
Well, again, I just thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to express my appreciation for the partnerships that we have with Robertson County, and to acknowledge the foresight of Mayor Bradley and other leaders. You said earlier, we need jobs. But the way you get jobs is to demonstrate you have a prepared workforce.
Absolutely.
And so we just value our partnership with Robertson County and look forward to continuing to serve the citizens for the next 50 years.
That's right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
I want to thank Dr. Faulkner for how accessible he has always been. It's been a partnership, a full partnership between Springfield, Robertson County, and Ball State. And to be able to pick up the phone and call the college president at any time for any reason has been a real asset. As people have heard me say before, it's all about relationships. And the relationships here have been strong and constant, and I think mutually beneficial, something we can all be proud of.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Howard.
Thank you. Well, I want to wish everyone listening today a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will see you all. Don't forget that the city of Springfield has the Winter Wonderland at Travis Price Park. You should bring your wife up, Dr. Faulkner, and drive through our beautiful park that is lit up. You can, in the safety of your car, see the beautiful Christmas displays. We want to remind everybody to go out and do that. Shop local, give the gift of local this holiday season on this Friday. This was our last Friday before Christmas, and all of our downtown merchants will be open late. We'll have food trucks here on the square. So please come up and make sure you're following our Facebook page and our YouTube videos. But Merry Christmas. Thank you, Dr. Faulkner. Thank you, Mayor Bradley, for joining us this morning. And you guys have a happy holiday as well.
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Bye.